I was originally going to do a video discussion. I was going to script a lengthy talk about the meaning of love and its place in people's lives for this year's Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, due to having to deal with numerous stresses and pressures in my life, I wasn't able to make that script, so let alone another video for today. Until now, I do have something very heartbreaking but important to report on. I've been reading as the night of February 14th, 2008 unfolded about the school shooting at the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. There are now 17 confirmed deaths. 14 victims were taken to hospitals. 2 died in the hospital as the night went on. The shooter, Nicholas de Jesus Cruz, I'm estimating the pronunciations, but 19 years old, was arrested. Unusual for this kind of attack, he surrendered to the police without a fight after they caught up with him. Of course, there will be outcry about the need for more gun control, despite the fact that had a trained and responsible individual been able to stop him with a gun, his rampage would have been stopped much quicker. If people don't have a means of protecting themselves, they are, I'm sorry to say it, but it's true, sitting ducks. President Donald Trump did say, "My prayers and condolences to the families of the victims of the terrible Florida shooting. No child, teacher, or anyone else should ever feel unsafe in an American school." And people tweet the usual messages, thoughts and prayers with the victims and their families, with every one of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, or whatever school is going to happen to be the next or the previous shooting. The sentiments are not wrong, but neither are they solutions. Now, I don't yet know anything about what his motives may have been. He was a former student at the school. It is said that he had made threats against kids in the past and was kicked out of school. I also read tonight that this is the 18th school shooting in this year, 2018, a year that we are only a month and a half into. Things are not boding well. You know, until I learn more, I do have to say this. People have been trying to point out for some time that schools are only becoming increasingly traumatic to children and young adults. The piling on of restrictions, which I have several videos talking about, the disappearance of play, of recess, of practicing debates and free interactions with other kids and with adults. If all the adults in your life that you're surrounded by as a young person are just burying you under rules and restrictions, life can rather easily become intolerable. And how that anger is released, with each individual, not always certain until it happens. Well, it's not certain until it happens. You can never really know. People have also been trying to point out the massive destruction a stable family has had for decades now. Disastrous consequences to every aspect of of children's lives. Repercussions that will last long into the adult years. And every time someone snaps like this, it's always blamed on something else. We are so reluctant to address the heart of many of the problems which lie in childhood experiences, that we ultimately keep making things worse. And that is only going to result in more and more tragedy. That's all I have to say for tonight. I will probably speak more as more details come out, as more of the story is pieced together. We all hope that when our kids are in school, they're in a safe environment. But as we've seen demonstrated time and time again, schools are not keeping their students safe. They're not able to. A lot of times they're part of the problem, what schools are doing to them. This just convinces me more and more to never send my children to schools. Certainly to public schools, and maybe even now to private schools. Schools, to someone determined to carry out an attack, a school is a very easy picking off victims' hunting ground. I'm sorry to say, but they really are incredibly vulnerable, and we're not thinking about that enough. Maybe this withdrawal from school, a lot of people have already said this about college, but maybe withdrawal from school is just what we need to start doing on a larger scale. I do keep wondering how many children are going to be sacrificed, either their lives or their futures or their sanity. They're feeling that they have any chances or choices in life until we finally begin waking up as a whole. It hasn't been enough yet.